Hey everyone, I'm Daniel from Play the Game HQ, and in this video we're going to teach you how to store your food Chain Magnate Special Edition, which we have right here. The Special Edition has two boxes, the base game and then all of the expansion content. We're going to go through the storage and organization of both the base game and the expansion in this video, but we'll start with the base game. What we have here are both games fully unboxed and punched and ready to be put away. And now I'm going to show you how everything is organized in all of the different inserts, whether you're putting it away for the first time or you've just finished a game. Both boxes have a full insert that covers the entire bottom of the box. When we start filling that insert, we're going to take that out of the box so you can get a better look at where everything goes. But when you're packing the game at home, you will not need to take that insert out. So let's start with the base game. First, you have the two blue trays. This one holds all of the wooden food tokens, and this one holds all of your marketing minis. That's your flags, mailboxes, airplanes, radio towers, and billboards. It also holds the garden miniatures, beer locations, lemonade locations, and soda locations. Both of these trays come pre-sorted so you don't have to do anything with them when you're putting the game away for the first time. And when you're putting the game away after you play, each of these spaces is numbered, matching the miniature that goes there. The yellow tray holds all of the employee cards, and the employee cards will always store in this tray when you're putting it away. The employee organizer insert sits on top of the tray, and the lid will go on with that insert in place. So we'll put the lids on these trays and set them aside for now because these go in last on top of everything else. And now we're going to organize the main insert in the bottom of the box. On this end of the insert, there's a space for each of the 15 restaurant miniatures. Then the milestone boards sit on top. The 5 turn order miniatures go in the 5 spaces in the center of the insert, and the coming soon tokens store in the space next to those miniatures. The freezer tiles sit in the bottom of this final center space, and then the banknotes go in the 2 cutouts on top of the freezer tiles. And the house miniatures go in the slots along the other end of the insert. The smaller houses go in the inside row, and they should be put away in pairs facing each other. The larger houses with the attached gardens go in the outer row, and they all face the same direction. This final trough is where you'll store all of the milestone tracker tokens. And then the turn order board sits on top of the turn order minis and the coming soon tokens. The 2 blue trays sit on top of the lower insert. The smaller one sits on the end with the house miniatures, and the larger one sits on the end with the milestone boards. The map tiles go in these 2 spaces in equal stacks. The menus sit on top of the smaller blue tray, and the yellow card tray sits on top of that. And finally, we'll put the rulebook on the yellow tray, and the base game is all packed up. And now, let's look at the expansion. Just like the base game, the wooden food tokens come pre-sorted in their own blue tray. In the second blue tray, you'll store the 6 map tiles included with the expansion, the milestone depletion markers, and the milestone tracker tokens. On this end, there's a space for the small deck of cards with the purple back, the 3 new coming soon tokens, and these 3 small gray tokens. Then the additional freezer included with the expansion sits on top. Once this tray is packed, you can put the lid on that and set the 2 blue trays to the side. Now let's look at how to organize the lower insert. On this end, there's spaces for the 3 new restaurant miniatures. Next to that is where you'll store the gourmet food critic miniatures. To get those to sit all the way down, make sure the first 2 are sitting down into the cutout in the bottom of the space. And then the next 2 will slide in so that the bottom of the tile sits under that vertical piece. The 18 coffee shop miniatures are stored in the spaces next to the restaurant miniatures. And next to that, you'll store the roadwork miniatures. All of the straight and L-shaped cardboard road tokens, as well as the square, L-shaped, and T-shaped park minis store in the trough in the center of the insert. Next to that, you'll store the large house miniature with the garden facing this way, and then the 2 small house miniatures facing each other. And on either side of the center area, there's 2 spaces for all of the employee cards that come with the expansion. Put the turn order board in the cutout across the center of the insert, and then once that's in place, you can put the plastic cover over the end that you've already packed up. Inside that plastic cover, you'll put the menus in first, making sure they sit all the way down into the cutout in the bottom. Then you'll place the 6 milestone boards next to each other in 2 stacks of 3, then the 6 milestone cards, and finally the single milestone board that comes with the expansion. And on this end, there's spots on each corner for the 2 giant apartment miniatures. The billboard tokens are stored laying down in the slots at the end of the insert. You'll need to put the first one in with the billboard on the bottom, then the next one with the billboard facing the opposite way so that they all sit down into their cutouts. Then the other 2 billboards go in the same way in the space next to that. The 3 freeway minis stand up in the space next to the billboards. You'll put one in the cutout in the middle space and then put the other 2 on either side so that the bases are overlapping the first one. The turn order marker goes in this little spot right here, and the long park and roadway tiles go into the space next to the freeway minis. And finally, the large square rural area mini goes on top. Make sure these tall trees are against the outside of the box. If they're not, then the rest of the trays won't sit down fully and you'll risk damaging something. The small blue tray goes on top of the milestone board, and then the larger blue tray goes on this end. But you need to make sure the side with this long trough is facing the center of the box so that this side can sit fully over these 2 tabs and the tops of the trees on the rural area miniature. On top of the large blue tray, you'll store the employee organization board, and then the rule book tops it all off. And with that, everything is packed up and ready to go back on the shelf. If you have any questions at all, be sure to leave a comment below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you later. Bye.